Welcome all to this new session of aspects of absorption rate kinetics. Myself, Kandekar Hassan Reza, will help you to understand the basic aspects related to the absorption rate kinetics. The topics which are included firstly is a general overview of the absorption rate kinetics on the various pharmacokinetic process and parameters, a brief overview of lag time and flip-flop concept. Let us start with a general overview. The absorption rate is defined as the rate in which the drug gets absorbed from the site of administration or loading into the systemic circulation. Related to the absorption rate, the rate kinetics can or mainly follows a first order. It is generally during a passive diffusion process under a sink condition. The absorption rate kinetics may also follow a zero order release rate in which the formulations itself control the drug release, especially formulations given through oral routes like controlled drug delivery systems or sustained release drug delivery systems and transdermal drug delivery systems that are given across the skin. The absorption rate can also be a mixed order or nonlinear pharmacokinetic process, specifically when it follows an active transport mechanism that is a rate limited process. Generally in the mixed order kinetics, initially it follows a first order, but upon saturation this first order rate process turns to be a zero order rate kinetics. The various methods which are used for understanding the rate kinetic process, pharmacokinetic calculation based, are firstly the method of residual, which is graphical method. Then we have something called as Wagner-Nelson method, a non-graphical method used for one compartment model. Likewise, Lou-Riggleman method, a non-graphical method used for two compartment model. We have deconvolution method, which is mostly used during IVC process and also from urinary excretion data. So these are the methods by which we can determine the absorption rate kinetics through calculation by pharmacokinetic process. The other general aspects includes firstly the rate kinetics, that is your absorption rate kinetics directly affects the Tmax as well as the Cmax of a drug. Probably a slower rate of absorption prolongs the Tmax and a faster rate of absorption shortens the Tmax. Regarding the Cmax is concerned, Cmax generally remains unaltered, but in certain cases it may reduce due to a prolonged absorption process. A higher Ka, therefore, that is absorption rate, results in faster Tmax as I mentioned, which may result in a faster Cmax, further a faster therapeutic or effective maxima value. On the other hand, if you say the extent of drug absorption, so generally this is the evaluation of rate of drug absorption. So the extent of drug absorption which is undergoing as a part of absorption process is identified by the area under the curve. Together with the rate and the extent, it gives the consideration of bioavailability of a drug within a systemic circulation. The absorption half-life, or the time required for the 50% of the drug to get absorbed, is directly affected by the solubility or the dissolution of the drug in the GI medium and the permeability across the GI barrier. Specifically, my discussion limits itself to oral drug delivery. So that's what solubility and the permeability are the rate determining steps for absorption process. Extravascular time course change in drug concentration implies the equilibrium between the Ka and Ke. You know that during extravascular curve, which is being broadly classified into three phases, namely absorption phase, plateau phase, post-absorption phase, and of course the fourth one, that is the elimination phase. This total extravascular curve relies on the balance between the rate of absorption and the rate of elimination. Initially in the absorption phase, as we know that rate of absorption, since it is greater than elimination, shows a positive curve. In the plateau, since both are equal, so it produces a plateau phase. In the post-absorption phase, the rate of absorption slows down than the elimination, so it shows a down curve. And finally, exponentially, we get a curve exclusive for the elimination phase. So that's the reason it is totally the equilibrium between absorption and the elimination phase. When, as I told you, one of the methods of determination of absorption rate is the method of residual, as I told you. So related to the topic, there are few points which has to be considered. The first thing is the lag time. Theoretically, we know that the intercept of the terminal linear portion and the feathered line should be on your y-axis, something like this. So this extrapolated line and the feathered line where we determine the K should be on the y-axis, but that generally happens is during a lag time, indicating the absorption did not start immediately following the administration of the drug by oral or by extravascular route. So what happens? Due to this lag time, intercept of the feathered line and the extrapolated line shifts forward. So it shifts over here. So this time of shifting of the intercepting point is called as the lag time. The lag time indicates that the absorption did not start immediately. So that's the important thing. Since the absorption is not starting, so the absorption is being given as a gap, after which the absorption starts. This is generally shown in the cases of formulations which have a slow tablet disintegrations, the drugs which undergo poor dissolutions, and the delayed release formulations generally produces a lag phase. It is customary that when we are writing an equation for an extravascular route of administration, we should subtract the lag time from the total time concerned during calculation. That is, suppose the concentration equals to, as you know, kfx naught by Vd into e to the power minus Ket. So considering the lag time, instead of T you should write T minus T naught. So that is to be considered. There is another concept called as negative lag time. Now the question is, absorption has begun prior to the administration of a drug. So that's a confusing matter. Something like this. I am saying that the absorption has begun, the rate of absorption has begun before the drug started to absorb or before the drug is administered. So this is, you can say, this is a erroneous assumption that is occurring due to different causes. Firstly, inadequate data points in absorption or elimination phase. The data which we have collected for the concentration time may not be sufficient to make a correct interpretation of the intercept of feathered and the extrapolated line. That is one. It may be that the absorption rate is not much higher than the elimination rate, which is very essential when considering the method of residual. So this can be avoided by following the other methods. We can shift from the method of residual to the other methods, specifically the Wagner-Nelson method, statistical moment analysis, or Lou-Riggleman method if we are considering a two-compartment design. Next concept is the flip-flop kinetics. Flip-flop kinetics is an exception where the rate of absorption is lesser than rate of elimination. Generally, the thing is reverse. We have the rate of absorption much higher than the rate of elimination. So in this case, it is reverse. In this case, what we do is interchange of points in the method of residual. The better way to determine is, generally we do the feathering for determining the absorption rate constant, and we determine the terminal slope of the rate of elimination. In this case, that is in the flip-flop kinetics, we will be determining the elimination by feathering and absorption by the terminal slope determination. So there is an interchange of points in the method of residual. What are the chances where you can have a flip-flop? Firstly, when we are considering control release or extended release products where the rate of absorption is much more slower than the elimination than your elimination rate. Firstly, I like to mention over here, there is a little bit of here I have mentioned generally it is absorption rate is faster than the elimination rate, but in the case of flip-flop, absorption will be slower than the elimination. So coming back over here, so when we are considering the control release or extended release products, the absorption rate is a little bit slower, and thus it may have a chance of flip-flop kinetics. In other way, if your rate of elimination is greater than 0.69 hour inverse, then it will result in the elimination rate kinetics. The various examples which we can say for your flip-flop kinetics are isoproterenol and salicylic acid, which generally follows with a slower absorption rate and a faster elimination rate. So these are the few topics which were relevant to be discussed for further explanation of absorption rate kinetics. We know the extravascular route of administration, the Ka is a very vital concept. So these points